Hello, my name is Kishore Durg, and I lead the global services for Accenture Cloud First. We are passionate about sustainability. We are taking responsibility for the planet by leveraging technologies to help our people live and work more sustainably. Today, I'll be speaking to a child, a college student, and an expert to understand how cloud computing and technologies can help businesses share resources, lower energy, water usage, and reduce waste. Cloud is also energy efficient and it facilitates many of the breakthrough technologies that you're seeing today. The expansion of artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, all of this is coming together to create smart strategies for sustainability. Good morning, London. It's nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good today. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm Kishore from Accenture.
I'm London.
I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about energy. Do you know what energy is?
It's coming from like the source of light, I think, kind of.
Does it power the computer that you're using?
Yes, it does.
All right. And do you ever think about where all this energy is coming up to power your phone, your tablet, and your computer?
Yes, it's all coming from the source of the sun all the way up in space.
Have you ever thought, how do you capture the sun's energy?
I don't know, in a jar?
You could have it in a jar, and that's called a solar panel.
Yes, and it's kind of like what my grandma has in the front yard, because it's like this tiny solar panel, and then it traps the light in the day, and then it turns rainbow in the night.
That is absolutely brilliant, Len. I'll tell you one more thing. You know, I've seen a lot of homes which leverage coal, gases, and others, and all of these are finite resources. They're not sustainable, and they emit a lot of greenhouse gases, which impacts the air we breathe.
I like the sun better. I don't like coal.
Who all stay with you in your house?
My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and me.
If you're watching TV and mom is using the computer, you're using a lot of energy. And there are so many families out there that are using energy. At some point of time, we might run out of energy.
Yes, your energy might run out if it's not used by the sun, but if your energy is run by the sun, it's never going to run out because the sun never runs out.
Fantastic. When you leverage the solar panels, it's actually connected to a computer in the cloud. The cloud is very smart and it's able to track how much energy you're using, how much of charging you're doing, how much energy you have saved, and it can figure out how to use less energy.
What would happen if everyone had a solar panel?
If we all use solar panels and the sun, it is sustainable. I get to breathe clean air and it doesn't cost me a lot of money. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, that's super cool.
You like sustainability. Well, fantastic, Wendan. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Good morning, Andrew. Thanks for joining me. Tell us about yourself. Where do you go to school? What do you study?
Yeah, good morning, Kishore. Great to meet you. I'm a student at Columbia studying computer science and math, and I'm currently on campus right now in New York City.
So, Andrew, what do you think of a sustainable business model? What comes to your mind?
Yeah, I think that sustainable business model is really comprised of three main components. As compared to a traditional business model, where the key purpose of a business is to serve bottom line and serve the board members, a sustainable business model really incorporates serving the people, the community, and the environment. And having all three of these components, I think it's really makes the essence of a sustainable business model.
So being a computer science major, based on what you learned so far, how do you think use of new technologies like cloud computing make a business more sustainable, Andrew?
The returns to scale that you get from cloud computing and what the impacts that has on energy usage. So for example, in the 90s and the 2000s, before cloud computing, if you want to start an internet business, you need your own servers, right? And each business kind of had their own servers and it was kind of all over the place. With cloud computing, companies are able to really pull together these servers into one giant data farm or a server farm and really reap the rewards of having their turns to scale and minimize energy usage, minimize water usage in a way that is ultimately beneficial for the environment.
This one statistic that actually has stuck with me for some time is, by 2050, the amount of weight of the plastic that will be in the ocean will be greater than all the fish weight that is out there. That is staggering. How do you think, companies and environmentalists that use mobile and cloud-based platform to find and collect plastic waste for reuse, for example? How do you think a mobile platform could locate plastic in the ocean, Andrew?
Well, mostly everyone has cell phones now. It basically means everyone becomes a volunteer, right? Instead of having a small group of volunteers who are really dedicated, you can have the general community serve as kind of these watchers or people who are on the outlook for plastic waste. And one way we can use mobile computing and mobile apps to address this plastic problem in the ocean is using computer vision, right? And having people take pictures of plastic bottles, plastic waste they see on beaches, and creating kind of an aggregate database of where all of these plastics are coming from and where do you see them. And once we have this database, we can really, conservation teams and beach cleanup teams can really pinpoint which beaches are the most polluted and which beaches need the most help. And using this data and using this knowledge, they can now target their beach cleanup efforts.
These platforms have located millions of pounds of plastic waste, which is then repurposed, recycled, and sold, meaning the business owner used technology to find an already existing product and created value by giving it a new use. Why do you think this is more sustainable than creating a product from scratch?
Yeah, I think that approach has two main benefits, right? One, for the actual person or organization doing the recycling. For them, it's probably more economically feasible for them to use recycled materials in their products rather than just using raw materials and refining the raw materials and then finally creating a product from the raw materials. The second thing is obviously it's more sustainable for the environment too, because if you're using recycled materials, that means that you're also keeping the same materials out of the landfill, and that is huge when it comes to all the pollution we're seeing nowadays. And being able to keep plastics out of the landfill is a huge bonus.
What are the thoughts that you have in terms of the future for cloud computing and other uses that we can see in the future?
Cloud computing, I think, can play a significant role in helping developing countries develop better, stronger internet infrastructure and helping them to optimize the per capita pollution levels so that the world as a whole were able to not just cut down on emissions in developed countries, but also cut down on emissions or reduce the growth of emissions in developing countries in a way that we're cutting down emissions everywhere and not just on the developed countries.
Andrew, very nice talking to you today. We learned a lot about businesses being more sustainable, and wish you the very best for your schooling in Colombia and your future business.
Thank you, Kishore, for sharing your insights. It was awesome talking with you.
Good morning, Natasha. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you founded Eon.
Morning. It's exciting to be here. I founded Eon about 6 years ago, and we were interested to solve for the production and consumption problems within fashion and retail.
How do you use cloud and other technologies to kind of disrupt the traditional consumption model that's out there and create a more sustainable product value chain?
Today, brands don't have the technology to identify, manage, and monetize their products after point of sale. So we give them the ability to ID products and materials long after they're sold. And we give the ability for them to share that data with essential partners. So think of a brand's recycling partners, think of their resale partners. Now through that product ID, basically the product is able to talk to anyone. Your jacket, when being held by you, provides you the information that you need to resale, recycle, style, etc. Your jacket, when in the hands of the reseller, provides them the ability to access the original retail price, the photos, the content. When in the hands of the recyclers, they can access the material content. So all of these different players that a product needs to communicate with, the connected product is able to do so.
The way I see it, actually, you're giving life to my jacket after the point of sale, which was never there before. That's fantastic to know. And as we look through that, giving life to a jacket after the point of sale, what sort of data are we collecting, and how do we help make decisions based on the data that you're collecting?
We are actually capturing product data. So all of the data that goes into describing your jacket, for example, what the material content, the zipper type, the thread type, the dye class, the button, the maker, the factory, the facility, the production date. And so basically we're creating what you could call a digital birth certificate for each physical product. And once that digital birth certificate is generated within the Eon Product Cloud platform, we're also able to generate a digital passport for each item. So record events along that item's life cycle. And what we start to see is that we can actually increase the amount of revenue that brands are able to generate from products post point of sale. And that is actually the switch that gets Eon very excited, is we can prove that by creating a longer lasting, connected, and circular product, brands can generate more revenue from each of those products than they could from producing new products alone. And so that is really where we get very focused in driving the circular business model transformation to align brands and give them the incentives for that scalable transformation.
Absolutely great to see, cloud technologies that can help connect, track, enable communication across a lot of the product ecosystem, and obviously enabling a lot of the consumers to recycle and upcycle like in a circular economy. Can you talk a little bit about how do we create a circular fashion economy, Natasha?
We view connected products as a key leverage point in enabling an at-scale circular economy. Circular economy in fashion is one of the largest global logistics challenges in the world. It's about making sure every product is at highest and best use all of the time. With connected products, we can ensure that, and we can bring the essential operations to scale circular business models. We can also bring these essential business incentives and the essential transparency and accountability.
So, Natasha, what do you hope for the future of responsible, sustainable fashion?
I think the fashion industry has an incredible opportunity to create a new system, and we're seeing customers come to the table and driving this business model transformation. And the new technologies that are enabling this circular model are going to be adopted across other industries.
A very nice conversation that we had today, Natasha, and nice to meet you.
It was really nice to be here. Thank you so much.
Saving the environment is a duty that's shared by all of us across all major organizations and industries, and implementing sustainable practices is no small feat. But cloud computing allows for a stronger group effort by helping us work together, share resources, and make large-scale changes and create sustainable strategies from product conception to manufacturing to distribution and waste management. By advancing the virtualization of businesses and the technology that supports it, we can make real strides towards a more sustainable way of life.